I guess it's going to be a few moments since Jess
I mean, I tested it prior to recording and it was working fine, so it should be fine.
Yeah, okay. Really, I was just making sound, so hopefully you can see that it's still working. Hey, testing. Hello. Hopefully you can hear me this time. We're good? Okay, cool. Hey everyone. Sorry about last week, we had some technical difficulties, so we ended up just deleting the stream because there's no audio that was appearing, and that one was a lot more instruction heavy, so it was definitely harder to follow along. That being said, this week's live stream workout will be the same as last week, that nice plyometric and balance one. Maybe you ended up doing something more intense last week, so today will be a little more chill. We're just gonna take care of some of the smaller muscles that you don't really think of, but you'll use a lot when you balance. So I have like these big powerful muscles that can help me to run and jump, but I have smaller muscles that kind of keep me balanced and keep my body controlled, right? Help me make like small adjustments, which even when I'm doing big jumps or complicated moves in parkour, you're still gonna make little adjustments with your body, having the strength and stability, or having the speed and reaction to do that. So we're gonna take care of all these little pieces of us to be healthy athletes and to ultimately be better at parkour. So yeah, got our new block to help us out to demonstrate some things, but let's just use the freestanding floor right now and get started with some Simon Says in our warm-up. So let's start with jumping or running on the spot. And so try to do that with high knees, just like before. See if you can keep opposite arms and legs too. We're just gonna run on the spot. And ready? Let's change to jumping jacks. So, Simon Says running on the spot. Simon Says jumping jacks. Simon Says running on the spot. Simon Says jumping jacks. Simon Says running on the spot. Simon Says jumping jacks. Ready? Simon Says burpees. And just the one without the push-up. So jump back up, but get into this nice low position. Okay, Simon Says running on the spot. Okay, let's try to just go a little longer. Ready? Simon Says jumping jacks. Simon Says burpees. Simon Says jumping jacks. Simon Says burpees. Simon Says running on the spot. Woo. Okay, so shake it out. Get a drink of water if you want it, and catch your breath. So, next I'm going to stretch some of the long muscles down my legs and some of the connective tissue that's not part of my muscles, but when you really actually look at it, it's kind of springy and elasticy. And so plyometrics is about using the natural springiness of my body to be really fast. So first to kind of first do that, is to just have a little bit of springiness and a little bit of stretchiness. So we got warmed up, but to stretch these down here, see if you can bend over your hips and sweep the ground. I like to make big sweeps like this. If you ever remember Coach Ryan, he can bend over, and it's like I'm literally sweeping the ground with my hands as I walk. But if I keep a big straight back like this, I'll get a better stretch down here. Each and every time. Okay, cool. So, part of the stretching is like an active stretch. That stretch that we just did before, like I'm holding it and I'm stretching the muscle, and it's really passive. But this one is gonna have a bit of a twitch and a relaxed kind of aspect to it. So see if you can do this. Find like a banister Find a wall you can put your hand against, something you can use to keep your balance. I'm gonna stand on one leg, and I'm gonna kick forwards and back. And I'll give a little bit of a hike to my hips over here, just to have room to swing my leg. So see if you can make it twitch with the muscle here to send your leg really high. But when I'm kicking, I relax, and I try to wait till I feel a stretch at the very top of my kick. And then going backwards, it's the same thing. I might squeeze muscles back here to pull my leg back, and I'm kind of relaxing a bit to let it stretch on the other side. So see if you can make those nice big kicks, forwards and back. And there's that twitch and relax, twitch, relax, twitch, relax. Okay. Let's try to show it on the other side. So same thing, hiking up here, but it's the other leg now. I'm gonna throw it back and let it stretch, and then throw it forwards and let it stretch. We're just gonna go bigger and bigger and bigger like this. And so there's a lot of different types of flexibility. I have very dynamic flexibility, which is okay for the sport we do, but I really suck at holding, like say, splits, because I can't hold it very passively. But if I really twitch my muscles, my leg is strong enough to kind of stretch and be okay like that. Okay, same thing, but instead of forwards or back, now it's gonna be left or right. So I'm gonna sweep my leg inside, and I might get a little stretch here, but I'm gonna get a much bigger stretch on the inside of my leg, bringing it out to the side, and my toe is gonna point forwards. This one I can put hands on the wall, I can put hands on a banister or a block, but it's the same thing, hiking hips up and swinging it back and forth. Okay. And then some of you might find this a little, some of you may have actually done this before, if you do any sort of track and field, but you'll do it for the exact same reasons. Because in parkour, we're still gonna run, we're still gonna be fast, and you still wanna be able to twitch. Oh, sorry. The other side, I'm gonna show real quick. So, I draw my leg into the side, and I have the other one that points out, and then my toe faces forwards. So it's a big stretch left and right. Okay. Cool. Let's do a bit of a game. So, take a breather, grab a drink if you want, and next we're gonna practice actually relaxing as a drill. Okay. So, if you remember how we land, it's that nice balanced position where if I'm bent, you could almost draw a line through my shoulders, knees, and toes. More or less the same way going this way. The shoulders, knees, and toes, they're all in a nice line, more or less. Now I want you to try to drop into that pose by kind of bending your legs a bit and relaxing your muscles. Like I'm a big rag doll and I'm about to faint. Like, right? So I want you to relax your muscles and drop as fast as possible. Just relax and drop. Relax and drop. And I kind of end up in this low squat. It's okay. Let's practice being fast, relaxing, and then twitching. So see if you can relax down, but halfway through you're gonna twitch and get into that landing position. Like I'm reacting, like if I was jumping. And then I had to be really quick on my feet, where my feet might be relaxed, but once I land, they're like lightning fast and they get into action. So, ready? Let's go on 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's like that quick drop, and I hold the pose. See if you can do it really low, or see if you can do it really immediately. So here, let's try with really low. Let's go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Same thing, but really high now. 1, 2, 3. Great? So, of course you can always try this on something taller, and maybe you'll remember this drill where we drop and try to react off things. So when I'm landing in the air, I'm gonna try to actually keep my legs a little relaxed, and when they touch the ground, then I'm gonna try to think about twitching and then taking that landing position to make a good landing I can more or less be balanced. And even that one, I had to take a bit of a step. So if they're not perfect, that's okay. But we're always trying to aim for perfect. So okay, let's try adding in a bit of a jump. So instead of a jump down, let's try to jump up. See if you can make a tuck jump where I'm going to jump up tall, I'm going to pull my knees in, and then try to reach for the ground again. So it's jump, tuck, try to reach for the ground. See if you can do that same thing of like, I'm going to twitch to pull into the ball, twitch again to open, and then in between, I got to relax, right? So it's this jump, twitch, twitch, and then I have to be open and closed through the duration of the jump, right? See if you can try making those nice landing positions afterwards. Let's just try one or two more. Ready? Let's go for a really low one. And we'll go on 3. 1, 2, 3. And then one that's a little higher. Ready? So, right? So, try practicing that, of not only being fast to squeeze your muscles, but fast to relax them as well. Okay. So, let's make a little more space. Just a tap more. And let's try some balance drills. So, if you remember from our first week, we did that single leg deadlift, where I'm like a crane, in sort of this bending over motion and picking up weight. I'm using a lot of the power of the back of my legs, but also my back. See if you can do that, but use the muscles of your hips and your ankles, and maybe even your knee, to kind of keep on one leg and keep balance as much as possible. See if you can even stretch out to make a harder pose and still keep balance on one leg. Because I still want my ankles, right, to be strong, even when I'm running and jumping. I don't want to twist an ankle. But the same thing can happen if I have a weak hip. If my hip can't take the weight, and I land, and my hip buckles, and it goes swaying side to side, everything else in my leg sways too, like a big old chain. And that might be bad for my knees or my ankles. So what starts up here might be bad down here. We're going to strengthen this. See if you can do the other side. Don't worry, this is my bad leg. So same thing, I'm going to stretch up nice and tall. I'm going to lift that back leg. And then I'm going to try to hold this position, stretching out. I'm going to use the muscles in my ankle, in my hip, and with my knee to try to keep me balanced. Okay, if you really want to make this hard, see if you can straighten your leg. So the only thing I can really use to help me here is my ankle and my hip. Okay, one more. If you want to try one that's harder, see if you can keep your hips like they're straight. Remember where before I was showing you how they were tilted? So even when I go forwards here, I'm trying not to tilt too much. Think of it like you're setting up for a perfect dive and really straight. And I'm trying to keep balance, but a balance that's sort of sideways. Like, what does it feel like for my hip to be this high and be this straight? Okay, bonus one. See if you can turn out and stack that hip on top of itself. Ooh, that one I'm okay on. But, same thing. Stretch out, try to stack one hip on top of the other. Sorry, you gotta stretch out first, try to be nice and long, and then try to twist. Okay. See here. Next, let's try a few more where we strengthen the muscles of our ankles and just do a little bit of maintenance on our body. So, like I was saying, weak hips can sometimes go down the chain and hurt us, right? But by the same token, if we make them strong, right, and none of these joints buckle or sway in any weird ways, if they stay solid every time I land, especially when I'm landing on one leg, then I'm a lot better for it. So, see if you can do one more balance. Try to balance with me for 60 seconds. And then I'm gonna start this clock now. So, see if you can do this with a straight leg, because I'm not making this sort of wild kind of out of balance position like a big lever. I'm just gonna stand on one foot. And see if you can keep your eyes closed while you do it. And to keep your balance is all through moving your ankle by pushing through the ground, or your hip. And you see I kind of have to adjust my body by moving through the ground. That's okay. So that's the actual practice. If I'm balancing, that's fine. But you know, if I'm out of balance and I have to pull with all the various little muscles to kind of keep in a nice pose, then that's all we have to do. 15 seconds left. Sorry. If I'm balancing with all those and making these muscles stronger, then I have better posture and these joints don't buckle or sway. Okay, ready? Same thing, other side. Nice and tall. Let's hold for 60 seconds. Same thing with a straight knee. So all the work is happening through my ankle, which pushes through the ground, or my hip, which has to adjust me. Okay. So, like I said before, if you want a harder challenge, close your eyes. You actually use your eyes to balance a little bit. Another way to make this harder is if you go stand on a pillow, because it's just harder to push through the squishy pillow. Just keep it up. And you see I step down, I go back into it. This one is all about how long you hold it. That you want these muscles working for a really long time so they don't get tired. Because once these muscles get tired, my joint buckles, you kind of know what happens, right? Okay, 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? There we go. So here, shake them out. Maybe your muscles were holding for a really long time and doing a lot of work. Maybe this one was a little bit easier for you, but that's okay. Okay. If you want to try something harder, you can always get a pillow or close your eyes, but doing it just on one foot is fine as well. Okay. Next, we're going to bring back over a block. And this one you can do seated. So, okay, we strengthen muscles that are like big and do all the movement in here. We've done that in previous weeks. And then today, we strengthen all the little muscles that you don't think of in these joints here and here. So, okay, the last place we're gonna strengthen muscles is inside our foot. And I have muscles in my foot that start all the way back here and will go down and through. So I'm gonna keep a straight leg, and I'm gonna practice doing all these movements with my toes and flexing them and pointing them to try to flex those muscles in my feet. So when I land on them, because there's a lot to this. Basically, strong feet will help you land better. Your feet have arches in them, right? And they're held together with muscles, right? If they get stretched and you're just putting a lot of force on them and your muscles aren't absorbing that force, right? Then the thing that takes that is like your bones and other stuff that might hurt you later. So here, see if you can do this. See if you can point your toes. See if you can pull your big toe and all the little ones like a fist. I'm gonna curl them. And then the last bit is I'm gonna try to move my ankles together. So I can do only a little bit when my toes are pointed, but see if you can point, curl your toes, and pull them together all at once. And this might be tough. Like this one, I stopped for a few weeks, and it's hard to fight the feeling of this Charlie horse, but you wanna start using those muscles as well. Okay, and then do the opposite. Spread your toes, pull your feet back, and then pull your feet apart. You're gonna use muscles in the side of your leg and in the front of your shin, as well as in the top of your foot. Spread your toes, pull them back, do the same thing. Okay, try one more time. So, point, curl your toes, pull them in, hold it for 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same thing, opposite. Pull them back, spread your toes apart, and pull your ankles apart like that. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. The next one's a little weirder. Hopefully you can see down where my feet are, but I'm gonna start pulling up my toes in different ways. So see if you can keep all of your toes down except for your big toe. And just my big toe I'm gonna try to lift up. See if you can think about using your muscles that control each toe to pull them down or pull them up. See if you can do the reverse, where I'm gonna push the big toe down and I'm gonna try to lift all the other toes. And I'm gonna push it into the ground as firmly as I can. And then, so I don't have my full body weight on here, I'm actually leaning against this box a bit. And you can do it seated, where I'm sitting low enough that my feet can touch the ground. But see if you can do it one more time with me. So, big toe down, try to lift all your other toes up. Try to use those muscles in them. And then the reverse, pulling big toe up and pushing all the other ones down. And then after this, we're gonna finish up with that last little bit, calf raises and toe raises. So, let's try 1 foot this time. See if you can do 10 with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And remember, don't let your ankle go out, right? Try to pull it in and try to keep that stack, right? It may be natural if you just relax that it wants to go out, but your muscles are what keep this kind of balanced and what keep this really controlled. Okay. Same thing, other leg. Ready? Let's do 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still try to keep that nice straight ankle. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then opposites, opposites, opposites. See if you can do the same thing over here while pulling your shins up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And the last one is going to be a nice lunge stretch. So try to do it like this, where my back is straight, and it's kind of like I'm making a square with one leg, and then this leg keeps continuing straight down like my back does, and my leg sticks out. I want to stretch the muscle right in the front here. So if I keep my back nice and straight like this, but kind of move forward so these squares turn into diamonds, but a little more kind of bent, then I can stretch this out. And it can be easier to do to just leave my leg on the floor and get a nice big stretch this way. I can add a little more stretch too if I lift my arm and I kind of tilt my back to the side. Because one of the muscles that stretches across here actually starts on your spine inside your back. Okay, same thing, other side now. Straight legs, make a square, nice and tall, and I'm gonna go forwards like this. Right, gliding forwards, so I'm stretching back here. Keeping that straight back really helps keep the stretch. Like this muscle gets stretched back this way by me staying up tall and even side bent a little. And if I really hunch this one forward, I definitely don't get as much. So, see if you can hold that a little longer. And then one more. So, when I bend this knee over, what I'm actually trying to stretch is the muscle in my bum, my glutes. So see if you can pull this knee really close. I have my left knee here, and I'm going to take the opposite arm to put my knee around, try to get a little more of a stretch. I'm going to pull this knee back until I kind of feel my butt get a bit of a stretch back here. Okay. And same thing with the other side. Bending over an arm, bending over a leg, and then an arm comes over. So this time I have my right leg and my left arm. I'm gonna put my elbow into my knee. I'm gonna twist around to try to push that knee over and get a nice stretch over here. Okay. One last one is to sort of take care of our knees. So I have a nice long muscle that stretches across here and across my knee too, and it connects down here. And it can sometimes feel really tight and very stringy. It usually gets a lot of work when I'm doing running, because I'm bending my knee and I'm bending my hip, right? But if muscles are too tight here and they're not tight enough here, then my kneecap might get pulled on in funny ways and will start to hurt. So sometimes if my knees hurt, I'm actually going to stretch out my hips a bit, because maybe my hips are pulling on my knees. I want them to loosen up and be nicer to them. So here, see if you can do what's called a mermaid stretch. I'm going to make this tail by keeping one leg straight and sticking my hip out, and this other one bends for balance. And I'm trying to push out this hip to keep a stretch over here. And maybe I'm kind of sticking a little forwards or a little back, but there should be a nice tight muscle up here that'll get stretched by sticking your hip out this way. Okay, same thing, other side. So, straight leg, I'm gonna stick that hip out. The other one's for balance. I know I have my hands here, but I can do this a little freestanding because I'm just leaning over and then my other foot is crisscrossed to kind of keep this here. So I'm sticking this hip out. I can bring it a little more forwards or a little back to feel different parts of the stretch. Ooh. Not too far. Okay. And there we go. So, I hope you have a fun day. I hope you're feeling a little better. For now, we're going to take a pause with live stream events because classes are starting. But if you really have enjoyed our time together, then yeah, leave a comment below or email us or DM us. Just reach out and contact us. We'll see about doing more of these in the future. Okay, have fun. See you later.